Hello, welcome to watching NDTV. I'm Vedant Agarwal. Our big focus at this hour on NDTV. Prajwal Revanna's arrest, which is now imminent. He is on the way to Bengaluru, to the Kempegowda airport in Bengaluru. He is returning from Munich after almost 30 days, in fact, over 30 days, and he will be arrested at the airport as per the local police. It will be a long-drawn procedure. The immigration will handle him to the, hand him over to the local police and then finally to the SIT. In fact, at the airport as well, preparations underway with the SIT and the police team there at the Kempegowda International Airport in Bengaluru. So it's going to be an important day tomorrow as well. And there have been protests on the ground in Hassan, where he is a sitting MP from. Pratibha Raman now joins us live on the phone line. So Pratibha, what kind of preparations are underway at the airport? It's almost certain now that he would be arrested immediately upon his arrival.
Well, in fact, the entire place has been barricaded in Terminal 2 that I'm talking of at the Kempegowda International Airport. Security arrangements that are put in place for Prajwal Revanna's arrival. We are told that right at the immigration counter, the immigration officials would stop him and would also cross-verify the documents along with the notices and the arrest warrant that has already been issued against Prajwal Revanna there. And like you already said, yes, first hand it over to the local police, who will then hand him over to the SIT. Considering the arrest warrant that has been issued, it becomes pertinent for the SIT and mandatory for the SIT to immediately arrest him upon his arrival here in Bengaluru. And what we also hear is that once he is arrested here, he would be taken to the SIT's cell where the interrogation should take place. And tomorrow being a very important day where it's not just important in terms of the investigation but also in terms of the legal procedure, because we are talking of the anticipatory bail plea, which will turn into a regular bail plea tomorrow, which will be heard of Prajwal Revanna there at the Sessions Court in Bengaluru. And all eyes are also on Prajwal Revanna's mother's anticipatory bail plea verdict that is scheduled to be announced tomorrow. So a major action-packed day that is expected as far as Friday is concerned. And like you mentioned, over 30 days, and finally, hopefully the SIT will get its answers very soon with respect to this case.
Pratibha, thanks very much for joining us with that update there. So all set for Prajwal Revanna's arrival. He is a mass rape accused, which is why the kind of protests that we saw today in Hassan as well. But what happens after his arrest? That is going to be most crucial. How will he be arrested? Take a look at this report.
A boarding pass bearing the name of Hassan JDS MP Prajwal Revanna on a Lufthansa Airlines flight from Munich to Bengaluru has bolstered preparations by police officials to arrest him as soon as he lands. The flight is scheduled to land around midnight, and Prajwal, who faces multiple rape cases amongst other crimes, will be arrested as soon as he clears immigration, according to officials.
ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳಿದಾರಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಾನು 31ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು 10 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ SIT ಮುಂದೆ ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರ ವಿಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನನಗೂ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಈಗಿನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸು ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಮುಂದುವರಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ಪಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಆಮೇಲಿಂದ ಇಂಟರ್ಪೋಲ್ನವರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ತಿರ್ಗಾ ನಾವು ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಥ್ರೂ CBI ನಾವು ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಥ್ರೂ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಏಜೆನ್ಸೀಸು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
The moment Prajwal Revanna lands in Bengaluru's Kempegowda International Airport, he will be stopped at the immigration. Immigration officials will check his documents based on the notices and the warrant issued against Prajwal Revanna. The immigration officials will hand him over to the local police. The local police will verify the documents and hand him over to the SIT. May 31st is significant as it not only throws the focus on Prajwal Revanna's interrogation, his anticipatory bail hearing has also been posted for the same day. Meanwhile, Prajwal Revanna's mother is also awaiting the verdict of her anticipatory bail hearing scheduled for Friday. Senior Revanna too has been trying to quash the cases registered against him, while the SIT has challenged his bail at the Karnataka High Court.
With 3 cases of rape registered against Prajwal Revanna, a lot of action is expected with the investigation as well as the legal procedure. While the JDS MP is heavily banking on the bail petition, the SIT is hoping to tighten the noose around him. With camera persons Kumar and Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
In fact, we're counting down to his arrival. These are visuals coming in from the Kempegowda International Airport in Bengaluru. Well, Prajwal is expected to arrive past midnight. You can see the kind of preparations there. Police team stationed there, as well as the SIT, several central forces, of course, they're always stationed there at the airport. These are live pictures now coming in. As Pratibha was reporting earlier, all sides have been barricaded. The police, in fact, will hand Prajwal Revanna over to the SIT as per the plan. So preparations underway at the airport in Bengaluru. Moving now to absolutely tragic news coming in from Bihar's Aurangabad. In just 2 hours, 16 people have died owing to heat-related issues. It's suspected heat stroke, but absolutely shocking and tragic there that in just a matter of 2 hours, 16 people have died. So heat wave there, claiming 16 lives, at least 16 people have died. The death toll may well rise. Now remember, Bihar is grappling with extreme heat. There's an extreme heat wave alert as well for Bihar, but this is an absolutely tragic story coming from the Sadar Hospital in Aurangabad. These are visuals from earlier today where several students had fainted owing to extreme heat conditions. But listen in to what the doctor on duty said as far as the Aurangabad heat deaths are concerned.
व्यवस्था सब जितने भी व्यवस्था है लू की वो सब हमारे तरफ से, हमारे डॉक्टर की तरफ से दिए जा रहे हैं।
कितने एडमिट है?
35 अभी एडमिट है। हमारे साइड से न डॉक्टर्स की कमी है, न आइस पैक की कमी है, न दवा की कमी है, न किसी प्रकार की कुछ कमी। कूलर की कमी, मैंने अभी प्राइवेट से भी कूलर मंगवा लिया 5 बड़े जाके देख सकते हैं लगी हुई। अगर कंटिन्यू ऐसा कल जो था 48 डिग्री था, आज 46 था, अगर कल भी 40 प्लस हुई तो बहुत ही भयावह स्थिति होगी कल औरंगाबाद में।
And my colleague Prabhakar Kumar now joins us live on the phone line. So Prabhakar, absolutely tragic there. All heat-related deaths. What more details do you have?
Update as far as Aurangabad in Bihar is concerned is around 16 now. So 16 people have lost their life. Around 40 people were admitted in the hospital, and that number is still rising because the heat wave condition in the central Bihar central Bihar region of Bihar is very critical, especially the districts like Gaya, districts like Jahanabad, Aurangabad. So they're all part of the central Bihar, and around 40 to 50 people were admitted there. 16 of them so far have succumbed to the heat wave related complications, and there are many people who are still very critical, and they are being treated as per the doctors over there. So the situation on the ground still remains very grim. As per the Met Department confirmation, Met Department update, we are told that it will be 2 to 3 days. They will have to wait for 2 to 3 days before the situation becomes normal. But as of now, the unfortunate news which is coming from Aurangabad is that 16 people have lost their lives. There are many more who are still very critical, and the situation in Aurangabad, Jahanabad and Gaya remains critical as of now.
Prabhakar, it's almost every year that we see similar stories coming out of, UP, Bihar, other states as well, but particularly UP and Bihar. Give us a sense of this particular hospital, because questions later will be raised, because 16 is not a small number, and in just 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. When we had a word with the doctors over there, they were saying that they were well prepared. They have all the medications and all the medications and all the experts basically to handle this kind of situation, because the Met Department, the government, the state government, the district administration, they were all prepared for this kind of situation because of the seeing the rise in the temperature. Because, but still, this kind of deaths have happened. So still, it's a matter of investigation as to how they were not able to handle the number of casualties over there. And unfortunately, the situation on the ground is that 16 people have lost their life, and the numbers are still rising.
Prabhakar, thanks very much for joining us with that update. Absolutely tragic there, at least 16 people losing their lives to extreme heat conditions. Looking at some political news now, well, it's curtains down on the 2024 Lok Sabha campaign. We are now gearing up for the 7th and ultimate phase of the Lok Sabha polls, the last phase on the 1st of June. And it's been quite a campaign with the Prime Minister and top opposition leaders going full throttle. All eyes now on Varanasi, where the Prime Minister is seeking a third term, third re-election. In fact, key seats also go to polls on the 1st of June from Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bengal, even Odisha, where there are simultaneous assembly polls. But it's been quite a high voltage campaign, which has now come to an end. And after his whirlwind campaign across states throughout the length and breadth of the country, the Prime Minister has now gone on a spiritual trip to Kanyakumari. He will be meditating for the next 40 hours at an iconic Kanyakumari spot in Tamil Nadu. In fact, he also, remember, has been campaigning across the country, and there's a larger national integration message that he's also aiming to send across. My colleague Sam Daniel has more details.
He would have begun his meditation, which would continue for 40 hours till post-noon on Saturday, the day when the country would also see the last phase of elections. Also, some reliable sources say he would be consuming only liquid food. That much we can confirm. The lights have been turned off behind me, but otherwise it's a beautiful, fully lit iconic structure which stands next to the other iconic statue of Thiruvalluvar. And it's also important for another reason. This is also the confluence of three oceans, the Indian Ocean, the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea. And the BJP leaders say the Prime Minister's meditation is also about bringing about a larger unity across the country. But certainly this is also raising a controversy because the opposition, particularly the CPM from Tamil Nadu, says this violates the model code of conduct in spirit because this will be touching the last day of campaign, also the no campaign day, and then the last phase of polling day. And they believe this could be a tacit way of influencing voters. This violates the MCC spirit and also defeats the purpose of no campaign day and the level playing field the Election Commission has set through its norms. So far, the Election Commission has not responded. One would expect they would have responded soon, but so far, at least no response. But the BJP denies his allegation, saying Modi is coming in his personal capacity and he's not seeking votes, and in that sense technically he's not violating any of the model code of conduct. But the opposition says he could be tacitly influencing voters, and this in a way doesn't augur well for the Prime Minister's office. He could have waited for at least 2 more days for the election process to be completely over so that nobody would raise this kind of criticism. And lastly, in the context of Tamil Nadu, where the BJP has an extra interest to break new ground, to expand its footprint, many say this is also an attempt to woo voters, having in mind not just these Lok Sabha elections, but also the 2026 Assembly elections, where the BJP plans to play a larger role, hoping to expand its footprint.
Welcome back. Our big focus on NDTV, the Rajkot gaming zone fire. And the latest has been that 4 Rajkot officials have now been arrested. In fact, this after, remember, 27 people had died in the gaming zone fire in Rajkot. There were 9 children among them as well. Several people have been arrested. This after the Gujarat High Court also came down heavily on the state government as well as the local administration, saying that we do not trust the state government anymore and that this is a man-made disaster. In fact, the state government had ordered the inspection of several gaming zones as well, but an absolutely horrific tragedy there in Rajkot. And moving now to the government's latest 10-digit solution to spam calls. Well, this has become a big nuisance, and now the government has launched a prefix for service numbers, for service calls, and this will separate genuine callers from spam callers. In fact, this prefix has been allotted to service centers, to various call centers, that these service calls will have to start with the prefix 160, so that callers can actually separate genuine callers from spam callers. So this, of course, aims to curb unsolicited calls from telemarketers, also banks, something that has really become a big menace in the past couple of months. And moving now to tragic news from Jammu and Kashmir. 22 people died in Jammu and Kashmir's Aknoor after a bus fell into a gorge. The bus, remember, was carrying pilgrims from Uttar Pradesh and Haryana. In fact, at least 50 people were left injured. In fact, what we're also being told is that the bus was reportedly overcrowded. That is, of course, a matter of investigation, but extremely tragic there. Many such incidents have been reported in Jammu and Kashmir in the past as well. Take a look.
बस पूरी एक डीप गॉर्ज में चली गई, जिससे कि इमीडिएटली वहाँ पे रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन चलाया गया, जिसमें सिविल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, यूटी, डीआरएफ और जेके पुलिस की तरफ से चलाया गया। इमीडिएटली वहाँ से देखा गया तो वहाँ पे जब रेस्क्यू करने लगे तो अनफॉर्चुनेटली वहाँ पर जो है 22 लोग जो हैं वो डेथ थे, जिनको इमीडिएटली वहाँ पे शिफ्ट किया। उसके अलावा इंजर्ड थे तो उनको वहाँ पर इमीडिएटली शिफ्ट किया गया, जो कि आपको पता है कि जीएमसी में रखा गया है। इनकी प्रॉपर केयर की जा रही है। देखो, ये जो है इसमें एक एडिशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट है, उनकी चेयरमैनशिप में एक इंक्वायरी ऑर्डर की गई है।
Second such incident in last 5-6 months, earlier 18 in November last year, 39 people were killed in Doda and about 20 were injured and near 60 people were in that bus. And today, more than 80 people in one bus, and that fell into a gorge. 22 people have been killed. They are injured, several injured whose condition is stated to be critical. They have been shifted to various hospitals. First, it happened at a place called Aknoor on Jammu Poonch Road. This bus was on way to Shiv Khori Cave Temple, where these people mainly from Hathras in UP, they were traveling in the bus, and this bus met with this tragic accident. And clearly, there's somewhere responsibility needs to be fixed. Who allowed buses to be overcrowded like this? One bus carrying more than 80 passengers. They too had two pilgrims, devotees who had come from UP. Some are said to be from the Rajasthan, but no confirmation yet.
So as Nazir said, responsibility needs to be fixed. But moving now to our big exclusive, well, Uma Sudhir reports on an interstate child trafficking racket that now has been busted, and reportedly at least 50 kids were sold and bought through this child trafficking racket. Many of them were actually less than 13 years old. Action now needs to be taken because they have been shifted to childcare institutions in the state. Take a look.
A mother, unable to come to terms with separation from the baby she did not give birth to, but has loved as her own for the last 15 months. These were the heartbreaking scenes at Ratchakunda Police Commissariat in Greater Hyderabad, with 13 babies, the youngest just 23 days and the others under 3 years, were handed over to the Child Welfare Committee. They had been bought from Delhi and Pune, reportedly from poor parents, brought via Vijayawada and Guntur to this RMP doctor Shobha Rani in Hyderabad, who was selling them for about 5 lakh rupees each.
मेल बेबी వచ్చేసి 6 lakhs అని फीमेल बेबी వచ్చేసి 4 lakhs అని
एंड कपल्स जो है जिनको बच्चों की जरूरत है, जो कि उनको अडॉप्शन का कानूनी कार्रवाई करना नहीं चाहते क्योंकि वो थोड़ी लंबी है और उसमें थोड़ा समय लगता है, तो उसको अवॉइड करके जल्दी बच्चों को अडॉप्ट करने की कोशिश करने के लिए वो लोग पैसे खर्चने के लिए रेडी हैं। तो एंड यूजर जो है या एंड कपल्स जो प्रोक्योर कर रहे हैं वो लोग 4 से 5 लाख इन बच्चों को लेने के लिए दे रहे थे। तो हर एक लेयर पर जो लोग हैं, जो एक्यूज लोग हैं, वो लोग इसमें प्रॉफिट मेकिंग एक्टिविटी की तरह इसको चला रहे थे।
The authorities are trying to trace out the biological parents of the babies to find out if they were abandoned, sold or were stolen. If the family is found unfit, they will be put up for adoption.
We need to give some time to the police also to trace out the original biological parents. And I also feel the pain the parents are undergoing, the adopted parents. But we do have act that we need to follow that.
For my sister, I took that baby. We all together went to the hospital and we took the baby. And she doesn't reveal the details of the parents. We took like that after 15 months. This is the position. Our demand is only we need that kit. If actual parents are not there to that kit, we are looking for that kit.
The families that took the babies illegally by paying lakhs of rupees are unlikely to get any priority in legal adoption.
The average waiting time for a family waiting to adopt a baby is about 3 years. It could even take up to 5 years. The Supreme Court has recently asked the childcare institutions to review the case of each child waiting to be adopted and even simplify the procedure so that a child can move out of the institution to the loving care of the family at the earliest. In Hyderabad with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.